Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. This is SynergyTalks, a podcast where myself and Enrico are going to try to kind of do all things dentistry, use common sense, talk about our experience and our opinions on the industry. The podcast was kind of started with an idea of demystifying a lot of things in the dental world. We really wanted to talk common sense and practicality, and also create a sort of an educational space, a cool space for everybody who wants to learn about dentistry can come to and kind of relax and have an unbiased opinion about what happens in the industry and how things are made, what are the best practices, how does digital dentistry integrate into what we're doing today. Sort of like, I don't know, you would say, how would you describe it?
Yeah, so with the aspect of what we're trying to do is to make it where you guys don't feel that the direction or our opinions of what we're talking about is based off of anything other than our experiences. So a lot of times I know when you see reviews or you see opinions about a certain material or product or how the industry should be going, it's usually fed or fueled by something that they're getting reimbursed for. Whatever we talk about on this channel is obviously our opinion. It's from our experiences. We'll go a little bit into today about who we are and, how we got to this point of the industry. But really, talk to you guys about what we experienced and hope it's an added value that, you might take some from it and say, I never thought of it that way. Or, oh, that really does work, and hopefully this will be a huge value where you guys will tune in with us every week and hear about the do's and the don'ts and the education we got on the streets and the things we did wrong or things we did good and how it's working or not working for us today.
Yeah, what you're going to find out is Enrico is more of has a business mindset, a very practical person with a vast business background in how dental practices are actually ran. And obviously running a dental laboratory was just an addition to his already vast experience. I'm coming from more of a technical oriented side. So I'm sort of like the geek of the operation. I try to get into the nitty gritty of the technical digital dentistry. How's everything produced, designed, mailed, printed? Whereas he tries to bring it all together in a package that actually creates a liable business that's actually profitable for both the practice and the lab. So, okay, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about your experience. Take your time, kind of take us through the arc of how did you get introduced into dentistry, and what was sort of like your path, the ups and downs along the way, and how did you end up here today?
So it's I always tease Milos that I'm going to write a book about this when I'm done, because it's definitely been a uphill battle as the industry has evolved. To start from the beginning, I started actually working for a dental supply company, doing ortho sales, not knowing anything about dental. The fact is that when I was introduced to that there was a world outside of the dentist, I knew nothing about it. I thought that the dentist did everything. So I had an opportunity to go work for a distribution company, learned about the actual products, so selling brackets and bands and expansion screws and all that stuff. Did very, very well in that segment. And then had another door of opportunity open up to sell dental lab equipment and supply. And I did that for about 5 years and got to learn about all the different products. And it was much different then than what it is today. Back then we were selling, waxes and metals and stackable porcelain and, some things that, really aren't utilized in a lab today. And then as the industry evolved and towards the end of my distribution career, digital technology and zirconia was just getting introduced to the industry. And I'll never forget, one day I was on my way home and I got a phone call because there was a new material, zirconia, that was introduced, and the product was actually Nortaki. And I'll never forget, there was one of the clients we were selling to, or a newer client that was using that material, and he called in a frenzy worrying that the material was shearing off of the zirconia copings. And we thought, oh man, something that we thought...
This is the end.
Yeah, this is the end, right? It was going to be something that was so great in the industry and it was going to revolutionize the industry. And then at that moment, we were like, it's not going to make it. It's not going to work. And obviously, over time, that was not the case. And we learned about the firing temperatures and how to utilize that product appropriately. And, it's flourished into probably, I think, one of the main restorative selections from practitioners throughout, if not the US, the world. But going down the career in that aspect, I learned about the products, and through that journey, met an individual that owned a dental practice and a small little laboratory, and got an opportunity to kind of oversee and dive into practice management while expanding a laboratory. And I took that opportunity, and I built it up to with the team to a 17 group practice with about a 3,000 square foot manufacturing facility. And the nice thing about that is it really rounded out my education on the streets, I would say, from going from materials and product management to practice management to then falling into learning about the ins and outs of the materials that I was selling and how they were being utilized in the industry. I had a vast knowledge of every category I believe necessary that you really need for the business side of what would make a laboratory successful. So in 2014, I really saw a huge trend of digital technology, and if implemented appropriately in the laboratory and even the practice, it could increase profitability and revenue. So I decided to branch off and open our first digital dental center. And in that time, we only produced products that came out of a milling machine. So our product list was very scarce. It was basically emax and zirconia. So, but we did very well with it, and we scaled, and I've been blessed to be in the situation we are today, where we can talk more about digital technology because I was able to partner with my business partner Milos here and expand our digital dental center, which we think we probably have one of the most enhanced digital dental centers in the Northeast. We'd like to say the world, but that's still to be determined.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is why when we talk to offices, it's a very different experience for them, because when we give them advice on how to do dental technology and how we do dental technology, it always comes not just from a technical perspective, but also comes from a business perspective, because he had the experience of running practices and doing practice management. So he knows what the dentist goes through every day, how that billing works, how the insurance works, what the hassles are, what the problems are, what the ups and downs are. And so not only do we give advice based on our personal lab opinions and experience, but also we incorporate that. So I think that's what a lot of offices that deal with us appreciate. For myself, where do we start? So I come from Eastern Europe, shocker, with a name like Markovich. I'm a certified dental tech. I went to a medical high school for dental technology. So my dad's a dentist, my aunt's a dentist. So I picked up a little bit of the curse. I didn't really want to study dentistry, but I decided to finish that and then come to the United States, where I graduated restorative dentistry in New York City College of Technology. I got my certified dental technician CDT certification there. And then I worked right out of school, I worked for Denmat in California when we worked on lumineers and snap-on smiles. Then I came back to New York. I worked in-house, like boutique style Crown and Bridge dental lab, which was a NASDAQ dental lab with John Esserino, who's no longer with us. There I got a really good practical experience where we did all traditional things with waxing, casting. It was very, very traditional, but also we started to slowly incorporate. This was about 2010. We started to incorporate digital, and it was still in its infancy. A lot of quirks had to be worked out. After that, I decided to kind of go a little more corporate and really wanted to dive into implantology. Today, I'm a direct VP of CAD/CAM and implantology at Synergy. And the reason why I really can carry that title with a little bit of pride and experience is because after the dental lab, I started working at Nobel Biocare in Mahwah, New Jersey. And I helped them start their scan and design center, where they were initially just doing some bars. And then we kind of started doing crown and bridge, screw retains, and everything else. After there, I got to experience all ins and outs in implant manufacturing and the complexities of it. And then afterwards, I really wanted to round off my experience by going more chair side, which is the clinical side, where I worked with some oral surgeons and prosthodontists in the Westchester area of New York. And here I've really got to experience that chair side manufacturing, dealing with patients, delivering high end restorative, allonx cases, like heavy problem solving. And it was right after that, which was about 2019, that I met this guy over there, and we partnered, and we thought it was a perfect symbiotic relationship between my technical experience and problem solving with his business affinity and understanding of practice management and running dental laboratory. So, what would you say that will be the main goal of what we're trying to do here with this podcast?
Yeah, I'd say that the main thing, and I think both our opinions is we want to get a non-biased opinion about everything or certain topics out in the industry where people could feel comfortable not only to get educated on the things that we've experienced, but understand it's at a non-biased standpoint. I think, one of the things I really appreciated when I was younger in the industry, that there was a vast amount of knowledge, but I don't know if it was naiveness or reality, that I felt that it was less biased. You were really getting an honest opinion on what worked or what didn't work, versus now sometimes, and not to talk down of any other person that does this, you're always questioning yourself: are they really giving me an honest answer,
Yeah.
or do they have a vested interest in it?
Especially
right?
now in this age of social media, right? We can everything can be bought, influences can be bought. It's really hard for you to know who's giving you an honest opinion. When we do trade shows and things like that, a lot of them are sponsored. A lot of videos online are sponsored, and so you might not be getting a full picture. For me, it was to make dentistry a little bit easier to digest for people who are learning, but also to maybe open up some new horizons for people who already have vast experience. They kind of just hear another perspective, and just to make it simpler, so it's more easily understood. How things are made, what works in terms of processes and what doesn't, how we've been doing things, what we've learned from our mistakes and successes. That will probably be the main goal, and to also have a little more casual, relaxed atmosphere. That not everything is so rehearsed and corporate and regimented, if you could say that. We're gonna try to cover vast range of topics. You can name some of the topics.
Yeah, we're obviously, there's a lot of things that have a lot of questions in the industry, although it's been out for a while, but maybe not perfected, is like, for instance, digital dentures and workflows and what worked for us, what didn't work for us. We have a really good team here that did a lot of R&D on millable, flexible, restorative, and going over that and what works and what doesn't work. We also, in many, many categories, and we'll talk a couple more in a second, we want feedback from you guys. Comment on these videos. Tell us things that you might be experiencing within your practice or experiencing within your laboratory and what you want to hear more about. We really want this to be a valued go-to site where you guys are like, hey, I'm not sure about that. Let me go check SynergyTalks out. And it's not always going to be, I think, structured like Milos said, in the aspect that we're always going to be, just educational talking. I think we're just going to sometimes just have open dialogue about how the day went and, the craziness that happens in a dental laboratory, and all that great stuff.
Yeah. Anything that you want to know about allonx restorative, proprietary protocols, implant restorative, which scan bodies to use, how do you take a case from beginning to the end with the right data, how to do patient excitement stuff like with smile design and diagnostics, and how do you integrate all that into final restorative? What are the best practices in intraoral scanning? What are the things that you see, what we see? How does the landscape change between small practices to like now dealing with larger DSOs? How is that affecting dental manufacturing, but how is it also affecting the actual practitioners on their end? Then we can do some historical context on zirconia, the history, the pricing, how that's changed. How did dentistry evolve from just a service thing to more of a wellness thing that it became today? And then we can get really technical, and we can talk about 3D printers, milling units,
which Milos would love to.
CAD software.
Please pencil out 3 hours of your day just on printers.
Exactly. But like you said, I think it's really important for you to tell us, because we're obviously not going to think of anything, of everything. But for you to tell us, hey, I've been, I don't know, experimenting doing digital dentures with this material. What's your opinion on it? And so if you just put your questions in the comment section on YouTube right underneath, we're going to be able to sift through that and collect it. And sort of like at the end or in the middle of every episode, we can try to answer those for you and give you honest opinion. Aside from Enrico and myself, we have a vast team that works just behind this studio. Denture technicians, engineers, administrators, all kinds of people that will join us.
Oh, absolutely.
And give their opinion. If, let's say, you have a question that we necessarily don't know the answer to, we're gonna try to have some guests from the industry, maybe some veterans, maybe some new ones, maybe some situations where, let's say, a 30-year-old dental veteran is planning to retire, and he's about to transfer his practice to another new generation, and how did that transition work, and sort of like give you historical context on how things have changed over time. And that's it. We're going to try to keep it fun and simple. Yeah,
absolutely. And one thing I'd probably want to stress as well too is, and I think it's different than most of these type of platforms out in the industry, is that we're not going to just focus on, hopefully engaging just technicians or just practitioners. We honestly want to create a forum where practitioners and technicians all go to the same, site, all hopefully utilize SynergyTalks to really kind of bridge the gap, I would say, in the aspect of, we'll have some dentists on with us. Maybe we'll bring some of those veteran technicians or new age technicians or ourselves to really have that open forum where this could be a value added for all in the dental industry. And hey, who knows? Maybe we go crazy one day. We don't even talk about dental. Who knows? But
who knows? You never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're very excited to start this. It definitely was something me and Milos has spoke about for quite some time now. So we're excited to hopefully see a lot of attention to this and hear back from you guys. Let us know. What do you want to hear about? What can we added value can we bring to the industry? And we look forward to doing many of these moving forward. Like we said, our goal will be to upload every single Friday. So you have a clear
consistency.
Consistency and clarity, right?
Yeah.
That Fridays Synergy Talk days, and hey, if we get a lot of traction, maybe we'll do more days. But for now, our goal is to upload every single Friday as you're watching this right now on a Friday.
And we'll already have topics laid out so that we can get going, which will also get your wheel spinning on what questions you want to ask. Because once you see an episode, you might not think of a question until you've actually seen the episode. So feel free to comment, and we're looking forward. This is a new experience, a new journey for us. So feel free to join us. We'll be more than happy to have you.
Yeah.